Hey Brianne, and welcome back to the journey. Last time, we finally decoded the star chart, the ancient map that pinpoints the location of the Sunstone of Ethel. It's been a wild ride, piecing together clues from forgotten texts and navigating treacherous landscapes. We knew this final leg wouldn't be easy, but honestly, I wasn't prepared for just how quickly things would escalate. The whispers of this treasure have traveled far, and it seems we're not the only ones who've been listening. Just as we reached the entrance to the Serpent's Maw, the cave system where the Sunstone is said to be hidden, we heard it. The snap of a twig, too deliberate to be an animal. My heart hammered against my ribs. We froze, listening. Then, a voice cut through the silence, cold and familiar. "Going somewhere, Alex?" It was Marcus Thorne. Of course, it was Thorne. He has been a shadow on our heels since we first found the inscription back in the old library. A rival historian whose ambition always outweighed his ethics. He wasn't alone. Two others flanked him, their faces grim, their intentions clear. They didn't have the knowledge to find this place on their own, but they were more than happy to let us do the hard work for them. There was no room for negotiation. We had to run. The forest erupted into chaos. We plunged into the dense undergrowth, branches whipping at our faces. The sound of their heavy boots was right behind us, a relentless drumbeat pushing us forward. The path was a blur of green and brown, every root a potential trap, every shadow a hiding place for our pursuers. I risked a glance back. Thorne was gaining, his face a mask of determination. He wouldn't give up. This wasn't just about the Sunstone for him. It was about beating me, about proving he was better. We scrambled up a rocky embankment, loose stones skittering down behind us, hoping to slow them down. It was a desperate, adrenaline-fueled race against time and greed. The entrance to the Serpent's Maw was our only hope, our only sanctuary. We burst into the cave, the air instantly growing cool and damp. The sounds of the forest faded, replaced by the echo of our own ragged breaths and the drip, drip, drip of water from the stalactites above. It was a labyrinth of stone, and for a moment, we were safe. We took a second to catch our breath, our flashlights cutting beams through the oppressive darkness. The star chart was our guide now. According to the symbols, we had to follow the vein of quartz that snaked along the western wall. It shimmered in our lights, a glittering path leading deeper into the earth. Every step was cautious. The cave floor was uneven, littered with rocks and sudden drops. We could hear the distant shouts of Thorne and his crew, their voices distorted by the cavern's strange acoustics. They were in here with us. The sanctuary was also a trap. The quartz vein led us to a chasm, a gaping black rift in the cave floor. It was at least 20 feet across. A single, ancient rope bridge spanned the gap, swaying ominously in the draft. It looked like it could fall apart at any moment. There was no other way. I went first, testing my weight on the creaking planks. The ropes groaned in protest. I kept my eyes fixed on the other side, not daring to look down into the abyss. Each step was a prayer. Halfway across, I heard them. Thorne and his men had reached the chasm, nowhere left to run. He yelled, his voice echoing with triumph. I scrambled the rest of the way, turning just in time to see my partner start there, crossing as Thorne stepped onto the bridge himself. We had to do something. Thinking fast, I grabbed my knife and started sawing at the rope anchoring the bridge on our side. The fibers began to fray, one by one. The bridge gave way with a deafening snap. Thorne yelled in surprise, clinging to the swaying remnants as the chasm tried to claim him. His men were trapped on the other side, helpless. We didn't wait to see what happened next. We ran, deeper into the darkness. The star chart clutched in my hand. The path became a tight squeeze, forcing us to crawl through narrow passages. We were following the ancient markings, carvings left by the people who hid the Sunstone centuries ago. They led us to a chamber unlike any other. The walls were covered in intricate carvings, depicting constellations and celestial events. And in the center of the room, on a stone pedestal, was a small, ornate chest. Gold filigree wrapped around dark, polished wood. This was it, the culmination of our entire quest. My hands trembled as I reached for the lid, but as my fingers brushed against the cool metal, A new sound echoed from the tunnel behind us. Footsteps. Loud, confident footsteps. How? It wasn't possible. A figure emerged from the shadows. Not Thorn, but someone else. A woman with piercing eyes and a wry smile. "Impressive," she said, her voice smooth as silk. "You led me right to it." Marcus was just a convenient distraction. She held a small, sophisticated device, a scanner of some kind. She hadn't needed the map. She just needed us. My blood ran cold. We had been played. We had walked right into a far more clever trap. She stepped forward, her hand outstretched. "Now, be a dear and step away from the chest. You've done quite enough." History repeats itself, doesn't it? The same lust for power, the same betrayals that led to the Sunstone being hidden in the first place were playing out all over again, right here in this forgotten cave. We were cornered. Behind us, the prize of a lifetime. In front of us, an enemy we never even knew we had. She took another step closer, her smile widening. The gold, the glory, it always brings out the worst in people, doesn't it? She was right. Greed has consequences, and right now, we were staring them in the face. The chase through the forest, the collapsing bridge. It was all part of her plan. We were just pawns in her game. The air grew thick with tension. Every muscle in my body was coiled, ready to spring. The woman, this new, formidable rival, kept her gaze locked on the chest. Her eyes glittered with the same avarice I'd seen in Thorn's. Lanterns we had placed around the chamber flickered, casting long, dancing shadows that made the room feel alive and menacing. Suddenly, she lunged. Not at us, but at the pedestal. In the chaos, a lantern was knocked over. It crashed to the stone floor, flames licking at the dry moss that grew in the crevices. The fire spread with alarming speed. We scrambled for the star chart as it slipped from my grasp, its precious parchment skittering dangerously close to the flames. The metallic clink of the chest's latch echoed as the woman tried to pry it open, ignoring the growing danger. The chamber was filling with smoke, the heat becoming unbearable. Through the haze, I could see the chest was partially open. A brilliant, golden light spilled from within, pulsing like a heartbeat. It was more beautiful and more powerful than I ever imagined. But we were running out of time. The fire was closing in, the ceiling above us groaning under the heat. We were trapped between a raging fire and a ruthless adversary who was moments away from seizing the legendary Sunstone. The tension was at its absolute peak. The chest was nearly uncovered, its light a beacon in the swirling smoke and chaos. What happens next? You'll have to join us in the next video to find out. Thanks for watching this far. And if you're enjoying this adventure, please hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the thrilling conclusion. See you next time.